Hi, everyone. Welcome to People Watch, the official podcast of the People Management Association of the Philippines. Here, there are no motherhood statements, no hiding behind obsolete theories and adages, and no time to beat around the bush. Just real talk with real people. I'm Joan Chung, and I will be hosting this episode today by myself again. No, so this will be our 13th episode. So today we will be talking with uh, a friend, no, from the legal industry. No, he is uh, currently the founder. The founder of Kylo Offices, no, a full service law firm based in Ortigas. He graduated magna cum laude from University of the Philippines School of Economics. Then he obtained his law degree from the same university. Upon graduating, he joined one of the country's largest law firms, Accra Law Offices, in its labor and employment side. No, and then after that, he has his own business, Skylaw, which, despite being a young firm, had already been ranked in the Legal 500, IFLR, and Asian Legal Business Rankings. He is also currently a senior lecturer at the University of the Philippines College of Law. So, without further ado, let's bring in Attorney Kesterson Kua. Hi, good morning.
Hi, good morning, Joan. How are you? How's
I'm
everyone?
good. Thank you for joining us in this episode.
Yeah, thank you for the invite. Glad to be here.
And so let's delve right in. No, I like to know your experience. No, I'd like to know more about your background, why you left Accra and then started your own firm.
Okay. Well, I left Accra primarily because I got married and I
Okay.
live in Quezon City. Accra was in BGC. Uh, you know, Traffic was even worse back then, around 7, 8 years ago.
Uh-huh.
Highway was still being built. Very, very traffic. So I said,
The things we do for love, no?
yeah. So I said, well, I can't drive for 2 hours one way every day, and I have to be home for my wife. So it was a difficult decision, but a decision I made nonetheless.
Mm-hmm. And then after that, was it immediate that you thought of setting up your own firm? Or
Well,
may iba pa kang you think you
hmm,
had a lot of thought process pa ba before you set that up?
actually, I became a solo practitioner first.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Before setting up Skylo, I was a solo practitioner for around a year. And
Mm-hmm.
then during that time, that was when the idea of setting up a more corporate firm began to materialize. So I invited some of my friends to set up Skylo, who also coincidentally came from Accra. But yeah,
Okay.
there was always that goal, that vision to set up Skylo. Was I tempted by other businesses, by the family business, for example? I would be lying if I said no. But at the same time, I felt it wasn't the right time yet for me to join the family business. Yeah. That's
Okay.
why, yeah, I decided to create Skylo first with my friends.
Pero your expertise is in labor and
Correct.
employment, right?
Yes.
So, this being a podcast for HR practitioners, no, um, in labor and employment, si Attorney Kester, ang dami yang marami yan mga sessions sa mga business associations, sharing his knowledge, no, and his tips, no, palagi on how do we manage people, how do we deal with our employees, our associates, no. Um, but basically, ano ba yung key advice natin for uh, small businesses, mga startup businesses, no? Na wala silang idea on this. Kasi 'di ba normally yung sa ano naman nagkakaroon ka naman ng idea pag mas structured na yung organization.
Oh, I love that question, Joan. Thank you for asking that because that's actually one of the reasons. On a side note lang, before I answer it, that's actually one of the reasons I became a labor lawyer in the first place because
Okay.
As I mentioned before, we have a family
Yeah,
business.
family business. Yeah.
We have a family business. As most family businesses, it started out very small. It started out with just my dad, a handful, literally a handful, 4 or 5 employees when they started, then slowly growing. Um, and there are growth pains. And one of the growth
Mhm.
pains that we experienced, and I personally experienced, was, HR matters, particularly illegal dismissal. No,
Yeah.
when you're faced with these challenges, illegal dismissal, employee complaints, these are
NLRC na.
inevitable. Oh, and these are inevitable. Sometimes people get injured, etc. Um, these are inevitable, but I felt that we, as a small company, we weren't equipped with the knowledge, with the know-how, no tips. For example, if you were a
Mm-mm.
small enterprise, no, a mom and pop shop, do you even know due process, 'di ba? For
Oo
HR
nga eh,
practitioners,
di ba?
that's normal. That's like
Yeah.
right at the back of your heads. But for an entrepreneur, na didn't come from a corporate life, or maybe came from corporate but didn't go through HR, they would have no idea what due process even means. All the what is this twin notice rule that you always talk about, diba? What totally blank yan. If
Ang
you're
strict-strict pa naman ng government ng
correct,
DOLE, no? Diyan.
correct. And in fact, yun nga yung isa kong criticism about about setting up businesses in the
Yeah.
Philippines. I kind of wish sana DTI or the SEC, whenever they issue licenses for businesses,
Mm.
they come with a simple handbook on labor,
Okay.
right? Like what,
Support, no? To support.
like at the very least inform,
Mm.
our mom and pop employers, our small medium enterprises about some basic labor laws kasi ang laki ng consequence. So going to your question, Joan, what is the thing I wish small medium enterprises would know the most? It's
Mm.
really the process. It's really about termination. The number one, we can't terminate people at
Basta-basta lang.
will. Oh, basta-basta lang, which is, the thinking of most small employers, which is,
Yeah.
as long as I pay you separation pay, if I don't like you, you can leave.
Mm.
That's the natural way of thinking. But well, we know there's a very big consequence if you do that.
Yes.
You have to pay back wages. What's this? You have back wages. There's reinstatement. There might be even damages. So that's the one thing I wish small medium enterprises will learn, or at least they're informed. That
Yeah.
general rule lang, kahit a pamphlet on
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. So
how to
so this
manage.
has been your advocacy, no? Is that why you're always having these like sessions for the businesses na you're sharing basic information, basic knowledge, know-how, no, on how to uh manage?
Yes. Honestly, it is an advocacy of mine that all businesses, not just the big corporations,
Mm-hmm.
are at least knowledgeable of labor laws. Because how do I say it? When I was a law student in UP, UP is pro labor, no? Generally, the faculty
Mm-mm.
is pro labor. When I was in UP, because nga of my background, I grew up in the family business. I helped out in the family business, no? We were hands-on, etc. So when I went to law school, when I first studied labor law, the perspective was really from the perspective of management. So all
Okay,
my
yeah.
questions as a student towards my professors would be, pro management. Like, bakit ganyan? Why can't we terminate this person? Why do I have to wait for,
Hindi ka
10
naman pinagtitingnan ng mga tao, ng mga
yung mga classmates ko hindi naman. But the professors, some of them would give me, questionable looks. Why are you here? Why are you in UP? You have that mindset,
uh-huh.
So I would say advocacy, yes, because I really feel for employers. That's the honest truth. I really feel
Mm-hmm.
for small small, medium employers who, alam mo, John, okay pa nga pag corporation yung setup. At least
Yeah.
liability is how limited, right? But
Yeah.
can you imagine a small, a fish vendor sa wet
Mm-hmm.
market sa palengke? How
Even
do we,
ganon.
diba? How do we expect them to know what due
Yeah.
process is?
Yeah, right, right.
And they're covered by the labor code. They are. Diba?
Talaga?
They're
May mga instances ba? May mga ganun bang encounter?
meron. You know,
Wawa
once
naman.
may nag-approach sa akin once. Ano lang, because we have a Facebook page, diba?
Mm.
So general public can message me.
Yeah.
Uh, yun naman nag-message sa akin. Ano siya? Water refilling station.
Okay.
3 employees. Nag-file
Mm.
ng illegal dismissal case against him. All 3 employees.
Okay.
Kasi he shut down, no, admittedly without the proper due process kasi he didn't know.
Aha.
Lumapit sa akin, natalo na siya sa labor arbiter. Oh.
Mm.
And the award was at around, I think, 400 or 500,000
Oh
pesos.
my, laki.
And for a small, for a small common
Lugi
kwan,
na nga siya, no?
who just started the small
Yeah.
business. And then he has this personal liability of 400, 500,000 plus
Yeah.
reinstatement. Ayun na. So since wala nang reinstatement, he has to pay separation pay pa in on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's very difficult, and I feel for them. And personally, I think that's one of the reasons why entrepreneurship is so difficult in our country. Kasi
Yeah.
for regulation, no? And
Mm-mm.
yeah, I feel for them. Yeah, as I mentioned, I always tell my students in UP, for example, labor law affects not only employees, it also affects employers. And
Yeah.
employers come in all forms of shapes and sizes. We have corporations, we have international corporations,
Multinational, no? Yeah.
we have multinationals, we have domestics, and then we have small mom and
And
pop
micro. Yeah.
like micros who are also covered. So imagine a fish vendor. If they lose an illegal dismissal case, they have maybe 3 or 4 employees na
Wala na
tumutulong sa kanila
livelihood.
sa market. Wala talaga. Ubos.
Yeah. Yeah. Sana may ano pala yung government, no? They do something about this as well. Sometimes parang, ano rin, feel ko rin, parang very pro labor masyado that
Mm.
it destroys the hand that feeds the people. Alam mo yun, di ba? Parang you should protect the hand that feeds the people.
Yes.
Kasi economy rin yan, di ba? It's
Mm.
win-win kung nanalo, kung we promote more businesses also in the country, no? But sometimes hindi eh. Parang pinapahirapan lalo, businesses close down because of this.
And at the same time, when if the government is able to inform and educate employers better, then we will see less labor violations, right? Kasi
Yeah.
most employers want to comply. Wala namang gusto talaga. Or siguro sobrang konti. Yung gusto
Yung
talaga
malicious talaga.
malicious talaga.
Uh,
It's a very small minority of employers. I
uh,
would say most violations of labor law in our country is inadvertent. It's because
mhm.
of lack of knowledge, diba? Lack of guidance. And yun nga,
Yeah.
I keep telling my students, how do you expect a fish vendor to have a lawyer on retainer? No, impossible.
Mm-mm. Kaya nga eh. So let's go to that side of it, no? Recently, you've been handling more family businesses. And sorry, and then ayan. And you've mentioned also that um I think by accident, you've already been kind of handling like succession planning
Yes.
for these families. Paano yun?
Yeah.
What did you learn from that? I think
Okay.
it's like an interesting
So,
story to tell.
so yeah, as you know, in the Philippines, all lawyers, we study all of these laws. We study all the laws during law school. It's not like,
Yeah.
no, we from law school pa lang, labor lang inaaral mo, no? So hindi. So we study everything. And it was just my choice to specialize in labor. So my other partners, they specialize in different fields to create Skylo. So well, John, also, most of our clients are domestic corporate clients, right?
Yeah.
So these are normally run by families, right? So these are
Mm-hmm.
family businesses. And well, how did we get into estate? Honestly, it was not something I was I was excited
Like
for.
trained. Ah, okay.
Correct, correct. It wasn't something I yeah, it wasn't something I really wanted to do at the start,
Uh-huh.
because I knew from the start, even as a law student, that family matters are very, very sensitive, right? It's
Uh-huh.
not just,
Uh-huh.
lawyers, when we talk about estate planning, succession planning, it's not just parang labor. I tell you, John, oh, this is the law, this is what you should do. Tapos, no?
Mm-hmm.
Clear. The roadmap is clear for labor.
Mm-hmm.
But for family constitutions, family matters, estates, it's a it's very much more complicated than that, because now you have
Mm-hmm.
to take into consideration the relationship of the parties. You have to take into consideration the different motivations of the different
Mm-hmm.
family members. And yeah, you have to magulo
So
because
nagme-mediate ka pa? Parang may mga away-away pa yan?
yes, may away talaga. So normally,
Uh-huh.
families come to us. Normally, they go to the lawyer pag medyo may problema na, or when the
Uh-huh.
parents know that the siblings, that their children are gonna
Uh-huh.
fight over the inheritance and they want to sort it out.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, there is an emotional toll. So it wasn't something I was really looking forward to. But during the pandemic, some of our clients, some of our VIP clients, unfortunately passed away.
Mm-hmm.
And because we were already their corporate lawyer, we were already their corporate law firm. Of course, the family, and we knew the family.
Default. Ayun.
You know, we had a relationship with them. They asked us to settle the estates, and
Yeah.
there, of course, we couldn't say no to them. And we were also in the fortunate position that most of the clients we work with, I would say a majority of their family members trusted us to
Mm-hmm.
be partial, to give an impartial opinion. So
Okay.
that's where it started.
That's a good thing. Yeah.
That's where it started. And yeah, it started to snowball from there. It started out as a limited to existing clients only. But then, existing clients who were
Word of
fortunately, and
mouth na yan, no?
I'm very thankful, we're happy with what we did for them, would refer us to their close friends who, because they were referred, yeah, by our VIP client, we couldn't say no. And then later on, we would be invited by, these friends to talk in different forums. And again, you know how it is, personal relationships, there are things you can't say no to. So it came to a point, I just said, you know what, it is a growing business. Yes, it's a bit more
Uh-huh.
difficult, but it's good business, and it's also a way that we can help our clients. So why not? That's
So
just
part na
for
siya talaga ng portfolio niyo ngayon?
right now. Yes. And it, surprisingly, it's, well, maybe not surprisingly, but yeah, it's one of the fastest growing
Na
department
areas pa?
or areas of work.
Okay.
But it's
Wow.
very, very complicated talaga. And
But I really like, to our listeners, no, kasi we also see Facebook friends din kasi kami ni attorney. Kaya nakikita ko yung mga posts niya. So, ang ganda kasi ng mga learning yung mga sharing ni attorney about this. Maybe attorney can share some of these, no? Parang like in terms of family, 'di ba? Parang yung mga realization in terms of relationships, like we must not wait until the end to show, 'di ba, that we really care about our family kasi minsan nag-aaway-away na, no?
yeah.
In the end, too late na, hindi mo na maayos mga relationships.
Kasi alam mo, Joan, I'm sure all of us naman, we know that family is important, right? Everyone knows.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
but I think many people, like you and me, most people in business and in corporate, we were born, or maybe we were trained to be kind of workaholics, right? Like there's
Mhm.
a season in your life where work is very, very important to you because you want
Yeah.
to, go up the corporate ladder or expand the business. And siguro, and I was the same way. So before, honestly, this was a blessing to me actually. This estate matters because I learned a lot, as you mentioned. Because before I was a very, very workaholic talaga. So I would be, you know, I would be working at least 12 hours a day. And then I would
Mhm.
go out for social events to meet clients, to meet potential clients. So yeah, that was the culture when we started our own law firm. But
Yeah.
as I was handling these estate and succession matters, and I was speaking to clients trying to resolve their problems, I realized that when I was speaking to my older clients, my more senior clients, and they're the ones who engage us, no, because they're afraid nga, that their children might have issues with each other, with them. I
Mhm.
realized that no one, not a single one of them, wished that they worked more. No one. When I talk to them, kasi may ano yan eh, usapan yan eh. Interview yan,
Mhm.
usapan, kwentuhan. No one above the age of 60 would tell me, attorney, I wish I worked more. I wish I earned more to leave more to my kids.
Yeah.
Wala. Not a single one.
Mhm.
But the number of people who told me, I wish I was nicer to my family.
Mhm.
I wish I spent more time with my wife before she died. I wish I spent more time
Wow,
with the children.
kikilabutan naman ako.
Oo. Mm,
Wow, yeah, these are very
countless.
powerful statements, that
No,
we.
and these are 60, 70, 80-year-old men
Mhm.
uh, who tell me these things. And they say, I wish my children had better relationships with each other. In fact, not just a wish. Many
Mhm.
times, sabi sa akin, yun lang yung pangarap nila. That's their only wish, that my
Mhm.
children would get along with each other.
And
That
so
that
we
that
build that now.
oh, and I realized, after talking to these people, and these are highly successful, very, very highly successful
Wow. Yeah.
businessmen. And I realized that there's nothing at the end of the day, family is the most important. So yeah, those posts I make, those are midnight posts when I'm just pondering about life. And I'm surprised that suddenly they would go viral. But yeah, parang yeah, so things
I think
I
a lot
learned.
of people can really relate. Kaya nga siya nagva-viral. Kasi ano naman yan eh, we always, 'di ba, uh, regret the things that we didn't do. But then, once you share that, parang nakikita nga natin, it's like a wake-up call, no, to everyone that money is not everything.
Correct,
So, kailangan, we build on relationships as well.
correct.
Ang layo na ng naging discussion natin, no? From labor law to family, to succession, to family and relationships, no? I wish we had more time, attorney, but thank you so much for sharing your insights with us. Maybe one last advice to our listeners before we go.
Yeah. Well, since you're PMAP, I don't need to talk about labor. So siguro just, cherish your families, my dear friends, my life lesson that I learned from my own clients, cherish your families. If you have small kids, take them to Jollibee once in a while. When you pick them up from school, take them to Jollibee.
Oh,
These are the
favorite ko yan.
memories. Oh, these are the memories that stay with our children, really.
Yeah.
They're the memories that stay with our children. Yun lang. Thank you,
Oh,
John, for having me.
thank you so much, attorney, for your time. And uh, siguro we will have more opportunities for our conversations again in the future.
Okay, thank you, John.
Thank you. Now I'd like to thank our listeners. No, thank you for joining us on this episode. I hope that you learned a lot from our conversation with Attorney Kester. Thank you to our technical support, our team behind the scenes, Mark Fernandez, Ms. Sarah Niguas, our president, Ms. Beth Nasol, and of course to you, thank you, dear listener, wherever in the world you are. This is People Watch. Perspectives matter. See you on our next episode. Bye.